The stream has begun.
This is the Say It Can't Gamer, and you are live with the MMA-Holes!
Mixed martial a-holes. MMA-Holes, 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 MMA-Holes. You like to be a mixed martial a-hole. MMA-Holes, 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 MMA-Holes.
No way.
From the Queen Studios of New York, Ngannou versus Cain recap, Bellator recap, UFC MMA news controversy with the MMA. I can't roll my tongue, Jesse. Can you?
Ah, found him.
Can you roll your tongue? What happened?
I found him.
What happened?
So I saw in the chat, good way to start the show. How is everyone? I'm wonderful, wonderful. Thanks for asking, Mystic Moss. I assume you're wonderful, wonderful. 2 joints had been blocked. So I went through our ban list to see if 2 joints had indeed been blocked.
Okay.
And I have just found 2 joints, and 2 joints is officially unblocked.
You gotta save it, though. You have to save it.
Oh.
Yeah. And you know what? You gotta save Mexican, too. Actually, just hit save. Well, I forgot to hit save as well. 2 joints.
Save.
Why is 2 joints blocked?
Why was 2 joints blocked?
Oh, boy. We're gonna have to have a sit down. We're gonna have to have a sit down. So here's the deal. I mean, I don't know who the fuck blocked 2 joints, but that's not cool. But 2 joints, welcome back to the channel. I don't know what that is about. But yeah, Vlad, I have no idea. But apparently there's some block happiness. And yeah, we don't like to block people. So for shits and giggles, Nightbot doesn't block anyone. Just to let you know. But
He times people out. But
yeah, he doesn't block anyone. So
time,
here's the deal. When we have those fight reactions, I know a lot of people are getting blocked. Sometimes there's a miscommunication and someone gets blocked in the crossfire, I guess. I don't know what happens there. We'll get to the bottom of it, but yeah, not cool. All right, 2 joints, welcome back. And you know what? We probably should check for Mexican too. He's towards the bottom.
I'm on it, Captain.
And we'll save him. All right, so that's that. Let's get this party started. This is the MMA-Holes Hour. Ngannou smash that happened, and yeah, that was last night. It was crazy. Ngannou beat Cain Velasquez 26 seconds, and of course, it wouldn't be the UFC or even Bellator without controversy. Both of them, Bellator 215, the UFC last night, some controversy. Now, well, let's address the controversy from last night, right?
Right.
I don't think it is at all. I really didn't think anything of it. When we were watching it live, well, I mean, we were watching the fight and Ngannou finished him. It looked like Velasquez's knees buckled, but everything happened so fast that you really couldn't process it. Watching it live, Jessie said she saw something there, and clearly she did, because watching it live, I mean, that shit was 26 fucking seconds. I think that it was a correct stoppage. Some people were comparing it to the TJ Dillashaw stoppage. Listen, I know it was quicker, but this is heavyweights we're talking about here. These are heavyweights. Velasquez, that was a fantastic stoppage. I don't give a fuck what anyone says, especially when you saw Cain's knees buckle. He hits the ground and he's wincing in pain, and you can tell he's kind of like grabbing his leg. His leg is fucked. We watched it back multiple times, and yes, an uppercut hit. Uppercut landed, I should say. And whether that's the reason why his knee buckled or not, it doesn't matter. It landed. When Ngannou, when his fist touches someone, I don't care if it's his pinky, his cock, I don't care what it is, people going to sleep. Now, I'm not saying that is what did it with Cain Velasquez. Perhaps his knee was fucked up in that little exchange. But what I saw was the uppercut hit and Velasquez dropped. Right? I mean, That's the sequence that happened. Now, I'm not saying it's because of the uppercut, but it did land and Velasquez dropped. We watched the post-fight interview, and Velasquez said differently. He basically was saying it was his knee. Now, I am not Cain Velasquez, right? I mean, I am not in his body. I don't know what he was feeling. Only he knows what he was feeling. But in that exchange, he could have been a little rattled. You know, when Francis Ngannou, I mean, the adrenaline was going. His knee probably did hurt. I'm not saying it didn't hurt. But when you're getting touched up like that, you don't know what's hurting, right? You don't know when it's hurting. So it could go either way. I don't care. But what we did today was we put up a poll because we were watching Ariel's show. And apparently people were like, it was his knee. It was the uppercut. It was his knee. It was the uppercut. So we did a poll. We're going to get to the poll in a second. But Jesse, what are your thoughts after just soaking all this in?
Without going too far into the articles that we have to talk about tonight, I feel that I did see something when we were watching the fight. I did see him get clipped. Cain Velasquez, I saw him get clipped. But on that same token, I can understand why people would think that it just grazed him and that Cain Velasquez might have lost his balance or whatever it is. Here's what I think happened. I think he did get clipped by Ngannou. Maybe it wasn't enough to knock him down, but he definitely got clipped. And then I think what happened was he put too much pressure on that knee when he got clipped. And that's what happened. It was a sequence of events that led to him hitting the mat and Ngannou getting that TKO. So I think for the people who think that it wasn't a TKO because his knee blew out and all this shit, I do think it was a TKO, 100%.
Oh, yeah. I mean, listen, I have no problems with this fight at all. The stoppage, I have no problems with, you know, whether it was his knee or not, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Ngannou wins, and we move on. At the time, watching it live, I was like, man, that leaves a bad taste in my mouth because in real time, in 26 seconds, all you see is those wobbly legs and Cain kind of wincing and holding his leg. Like, you see that and you just assume, right? But watching it back over and over and over again, then you see the real details. The TJ Dillashaw Henry Cejudo fight, the comparison is probably the dumbest thing I've ever seen. That, like, sometimes MMA on social media, the fans, they get so retarded, and that is one of the most retarded things. We're comparing heavyweight fighters with 125-pound fighters. You're comparing Henry Cejudo with fucking Francis Ngannou. I mean, what is going on? When I saw the comparisons, my head exploded. Like, it was just like a stupidity bomb just went off, and I just ducked for cover. I was like, what is this? What are you comparing here? It's apples and oranges. These are the heavyweights. This is a whole different ball game over here. So please, the comparison, let's just remove that from the conversation. The real conversation is what happened. Are you pissed off? Are you not pissed off? Are you bummed, I should say, or not bummed with Cain Velasquez's loss over here? That is the real question. We're going to get into the poll over here on our channel, the community section, and it's almost even. So, and I think this is fair.
Super chat.
We got a super chat coming in. Astro Art.
JBH is getting way better at reading fights now. Good job.
Yeah, she caught it. She definitely caught it. Thank you, Astro Art. Right, Jess? Fucking hit the nail on the head. It's crazy, man. 26 seconds within a split. You know, you don't know what's going on. Like, your emotions are going. You're seeing what's happening over here. You're trying to absorb it. Now, here's the thing. I've learned this from other people in MMA media, the Luke Thomases, the Ariel Helwanis, anyone that does like breakdowns or analysis and stuff like that. We don't do that, right? We're just fans watching the fights, right? And technically they are too. What do they fucking know? But they take themselves a little bit more seriously.
Yes.
The one thing I do agree with is in real time, I've watched many fights in real time, and you see one thing and you go back and you watch it again, and then you can really absorb what happened. The one that always stands out to me is Conor McGregor versus Nate Diaz, the second fight. When I watched that fight live, I was like, Nate won. I am a Conor fan. I got Conor over my shoulder. Nate won that fight. Fuck, Conor lost. And I'm like, fuck, this sucks, man. I really want Conor to win that fight. Some people still stick with that. When I went back and watched it, I had a complete change of heart. So that is just an example. When you watch these fights, and that's the beauty of these fights, sometimes you see it one way, you watch it again, you see it a completely other way. So this situation, I see it differently. I do see it differently. I'm completely happy with the stoppage, and Ngannou clipped him. I don't know if that's what stopped the fight, but it doesn't matter. Cain was done. He was donezo. Now look at the poll, Jesse.
Yes.
What do you think about this? 48% say that the knee gave out. This is 627 people voting. You can keep voting tonight. Go for it. And Wakanda uppercut, 52% say it was the uppercut. So majority do say it's the uppercut, but it's very close. It's basically a 50-50 thing over here. Do you agree with this?
Yeah, I do. I definitely think that it was the uppercut, and it does. Like I said before, it doesn't surprise me that a lot of people thought that it was the knee that gave out. But like I said, it's a sequence of events. I think it was the uppercut and the knee blowing out. It was the perfect storm of things to happen. So, if I had the choice, I would have voted both answers.
Yeah, it could go either way. It really could go. No one's right. No, we are not Cain Velasquez. Now, Cain Velasquez told us it was his knee, but we weren't in his body. We don't know. All we see is an uppercut lands, and I mean, it doesn't look flush, but it's Francis Ngannou. I mean, it's fucking Ngannou. I mean, it kind of was flush because if you think about it, Cain's head fucking jerked, and it jerked and he went down. We have actual footage of this. We're gonna show it in a second, but let me know in the chat what y'all think.
Exclusive footage.
Yes, you haven't seen this angle yet. Jess, what's up in this chat room?
J Dummy 2 says 1. David Ombra 1 Post Reloaded says congrats to Generation X, newest inductees of the HOF, and if you ain't down with that. J Dummy 2 says LOL bus driver uppercut. I Heart Jesse says David Flores. I Heart David Flores. Boss Goger says JBH left the show. J Kyle says imagine that big fucker uppercutting you.
Oh, forget it. I'm dead.
Michael Anzalone says, take my wrench. Why would we take your wrench, Michael Anzalone? I'm not taking your wrench.
Mike, we're not holding you responsible for it. We're not holding you responsible. It's when Jesse was doing the moderating too, it was the same thing. There would be big shows, a lot of people there. Sometimes, there's a misclick. Who knows what it is, but please,
and
you're the best.
I did block some links last night, so it could have very well been me.
What?
It's possible. It's easy to misclick. It's very easy to misclick. But it's resolved now. So everything's back to normal. Everyone's happy and cheery.
How dare you?
Nobody's taking anybody's wrenches right now.
This is like Clue. Who blocked two joints? I know it wasn't me. I can tell you that. So
it could have been me. I did block a couple of links last night. But
let me know in the chat. Was it Nightbot, Anzalone, or JBH? All right. Who cares? Anyway, he's back in business. So two joints. Welcome back. I hope you're not too offended by. Don't be an a-hole. Be an MMA-hole. Right? 20 likes.
There he is.
20 likes, I've got fucking 20 likes, 20 likes, 20 likes, I've got fucking 20 likes, 20 likes, 20 likes, I've got fucking 20 likes. I hope the dislikes die of leprosy.
Two Joints is alive again.
Two Joints is back! Oh my God! It's a glorious occasion. Two Joints is still alive.
Wonderful.
He almost got lost in the shuffle.
What the fuck? You know what? I kind of want to just unblock everyone. I see there we had a couple of shows, like especially the Korean shows, and we assassinated a lot of Koreans. Right? It just went crazy. Links and just different languages, and Jesse went fucking, whoa, let's go nuking them.
Wait a minute. First of all, everyone in the chat at the time, if you go back to that stream, a lot of the people in the chat were asking me to do that because they couldn't get their comments in or read.
Well,
so I was saving, in fairness, I was trying to be the savior.
Mm-hmm.
You can't stop
Vlad!
the Siberian Express. Choo-choo, motherfuckers.
All right, let's see what Vlad has to say.
They could run that fight back, and I think it still ends the same way.
Yeah.
Maybe not in 26 seconds, but Ngannou is young and in his prime. Cain is old, had multiple surgeries, and likes to lift 200-pound dumbbells in a jerking motion.
Yeah, his training is questionable. Yeah, thank you, Vlad, for the donation. I agree. What did we say before the fight? I picked Cain on his legacy, right? I picked him on his legacy, and JVH did a good job with Ngannou in this one. I just couldn't. I needed to see old Cain before I can be like, yeah, he's done. And I saw it last night. I mean, we didn't see much. We only saw 26 seconds, but he did look a little nervous, which he should be. I mean, 2 years out, he should be a little nervous out there. But I don't know if we got that same Cain Velasquez, that ferocious Cain Velasquez anymore. I'm not quite seeing it, but who knows? Maybe he comes back and he can pick up. Who knows? Maybe he'll pick the pieces up. We'll see. All right. The poll is over here, the community section. Check it out and give your vote over here. Cain Velasquez, how did he lose? Was it because of his knee or the Wakanda uppercut? This opens a lot of doors with Francis Ngannou. You know, you can go a lot of ways over here with him. Who is he fighting next? Is it a rematch versus Stipe? You can do the Daniel Cormier, I will avenge my friend. It kind of sucks because that whole juice of Cain Velasquez maybe fighting John Jones. You know, like to see him, avenge his boy's death. Well, that's out the window. That's off the table now. So you can take that away. But a DC fighting Ngannou, I'm interested. Maybe Ngannou, understands. What do you think? Would you like to see that, Jesse?
I have an article on that.
Oh, okay. We should probably get into the news. All right. With 124 people watching, we're going to get into the news, but I want to show you some exclusive footage of the actual exchange between Ngannou and Cain Velasquez, all right?
Exclusive.
That's right. So in the chat, I know everyone's like, I don't know. Was it the knee? Was it the uppercut? Well, we're going to show you right now exactly what it was.
Ouch. My knee.
All right, well, there you go. It was his knee. Right, Jesse? It was clearly his knee.
Absolutely. And thank you to the source of that exclusive content. The news is back. 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 JBH was in the news.
All right.
Seems to be acting all confused. MMA is what we need.
Well, Mark Ramondi's pussy, please.
Jesse with the 5'7" height, Fuga Friday, bringing out all them white knights. That's right, ass tight, plump lips, news all night. The MMA-Holes chat bites.
All right, let's do it. Remember, you can save the show with 5 minutes left in and extend it, but let's get to the news, JBH. What do we got?
According to MMAnews.com, Cain Velasquez says UFC and ESPN won loss due to a freak accident. Cain Velasquez doesn't believe Francis Ngannou's uppercut is what caused him to hit the canvas at UFC on ESPN1. Last night, February 17th, Velasquez made his return to the octagon in his home state of Arizona. The former two-time UFC heavyweight king hadn't competed since July of 2016. His return lasted just 26 seconds as Ngannou was able to earn the quick finish. While replays showed Ngannou connected with an uppercut on the inside, Velasquez said he felt a pop in his knee and he feels that was the culprit of his loss. Cain Velasquez still has fire. Speaking to reporters during the post-fight press conference, Velasquez called his loss a, quote, freak accident. This is just the third loss in Velasquez's professional mixed martial arts career. As for Ngannou, he now has 2 first-round finishes since his losses to Stipe Miocic and Derek Lewis. The Predator is now calling for a shot at Daniel Cormier's UFC heavyweight title.
I love that. I don't think it's going to happen. Dana White already kind of squashed that, but I love the fight, I think that DC is destined for Brock Lesnar. I think that is his destiny, unfortunately. I wish it was Francis Ngannou. I would love to see that.
Yeah.
A little black-on-black violence. Kane's got that wrestling, but Ngannou, man, it's not like Stipe Miocic, right? What Stipe did to nullify Ngannou was fantastic, and I think Daniel Cormier could do the same thing. But now Ngannou's kind of fixed things up a little bit. He's not cautious, but he is cautious, and he has the pop to put anyone away. So that would be an interesting matchup.
Except for Daniel Cormier.
Yeah, I would still pick DC. I would, but I mean, it's tough to go against DC unless John Jones.
I think anyone would be silly not to.
Yeah. Ask the chat. Let's see. Chat room, who would win that fight? If DC was fighting Ngannou, who would win that fight? Let us know right now.
Steve Johnson says, I'm only scared of Jay. He rapes like a monster. Food Fight Live is boring, says Stone Cold. Drunk Savage says, Law of Attraction, White Housewives scare me the most. Boss Kogar says, 2 joints. Yeah, buddy. David Ambra, Drunk Savage, that's more correct. Law of Attraction's laughing at Ambra. Tommaso Mark says, JBH and Mystic Moss, how much would you charge to hold mitts for Francis?
I would just do it for the show. I would do it for fucking free. I would hold the mitts and let him just punch my arm off my body. I think it'd be hilarious. Now I would probably have to get surgery after that, but I would do
with the mitts.
I would do 2 hands with 1 mitt. That's what I would do. I don't think you've ever seen that before, but I would try to brace myself and go for it.
Yeah. Ambidextrous Fapper says Cain looked worse than Chuck Liddell. David Ombro says DC J Smooth laughing at Steve Johnson. What the fuck? Victor Lee says Francis early KO. Team VIP is in the chat. Says DC champ. Noah Velez. Wakanda would win. Boss Coker says Stone Cold Food Fight Live sucks. Two Joint says DC all day. Steve Johnson laughing in the chat. Joe Rod says I can't stand DC, but he pretty much would own Ngannou.
All right, let's go to the next story over here. Francis Ngannou. By the way, shout out to Real said that Luke Thomas has stopped saying Ngannou. And he did. What is that about?
Well, he's watching the MMA-Holes. That's what that is about.
Why would he stop? He was all this Ngannou. And now all of a sudden he's like Ngannou.
Because he wants to be like the swollest channel on YouTube.
Ah. It's good to be king.
Feel the power.
It's good to be king of the YouTubes. My precious queen next to me. We take over the entire world. I don't know what this accent is, but let's get to the next story.
That's your Cain Velasquez accent.
Yes, my knee. Man. My knee. All right, what do we got here?
According to BJPenn.com, Francis Ngannou assures he dropped Cain Velasquez with a punch. Last night, in the headlining bout of UFC's debut event on ESPN, Francis Ngannou picked up arguably the best win of his career, defeating former heavyweight champ Cain Velasquez in less than 30 seconds. In the wake of this fight, however, there's been some debate as to whether or not Velasquez was put down by Ngannou's punches, the knee injury he sustained, or a grisly combination of both. Ngannou says that after watching the fight back, he's confident that his punches spelled the end for the former champ. More specifically, he believes he dropped Velasquez with an uppercut, which is when the knee injury occurred. Ngannou said at the post-fight press conference, quote, "No, because the knee buckled after an uppercut on his chin. You can look at the video about it, so you can find out and you will see the uppercut. That might be why his knee buckled, because he got disconnected." That being said, Cain Velasquez claims that none of the punches Francis Ngannou threw had him in any real trouble. He said, quote, "It was just the knee. He didn't even, touch me, you know?" Velasquez said this post-fight, saying, or continues saying, quote, "It was just the knee. As soon as I felt the knee just buckle, it was like I couldn't believe that happened, and then that was it."
All right, so here they are. They're back and forth. I think Ngannou's handling this well. If it was me, I'd be like, motherfucker, I hit him with an uppercut, motherfucker. He dropped like a bag of beans. I saw his knee buckle. That's because of my knuckle. That's what I would have said. Yeah. That's what I mean, he doesn't talk like that.
But rhyming.
Right? That's what I would have said if I was Ngannou. Mm-hmm. Actually, Jesse actually translated the post-fight press conference, right, Jesse?
What?
Yeah, you just translated it. I mean, that's not really what Ngannou. Hello. Let's try that again. Ngannou said.
Yeah.
Right? This is what he said. Hold on a second.
All right, let's hear it.
Hold on, let's just do this. All right, here we go. Ready? Francis, what happened during that fight?
Wonderful.
That was a good translation, though, I have to say, because I didn't understand at the press conference. I was like, what is he saying? So, Jesse, did you learn? I mean, you learned how to speak African?
No comments.
No. Okay, let's see what the next story is.
Oh, my God.
Oh, Super chat. Prospector Rob.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
The cringiest MMA show on YouTube. Welcome. If this is your first time, could you imagine this is your first time jumping on the channel?
And that's the first thing you hear?
And you're like, oh, look, he's my favorite fighter, Francis Ngannou. And you go, that would be fucking terrible, Jesse. That would be a terrible thing.
That's why I said no comment.
We love everyone. We're just fucking around. All right, let's get to the next story.
According to MMAnews.com, Dana White says that Daniel Cormier has a UFC title fight lined up.
Ooh, yes. That's what we were speaking about earlier. Let's find out more, Jesse, because that's what we do over here.
All right.
We find out more.
Many are wondering who Cormier will collide with next. The UFC heavyweight champion revealed that he's pushing back his plans to retire in March. At one point, a showdown between Cormier and Brock Lesnar seems set, but that's no longer a guarantee. Stipe Miocic has been calling for a rematch, but Cormier doesn't appreciate Miocic feeling he's owed a title bout. Dana White has title challenger in mind for Daniel Cormier. White spoke to Megan O'Leary following last night's UFC on ESPN 1 event. During the interview, White revealed that Cormier already has a fight lined up. He said, quote, "Well, yeah, Francis is there. Cormier's hurt right now, and we have another fight lined up for Cormier first, so we'll see how this whole thing plays out. Cormier is not healthy yet, so I would never announce a fight without it being done. It makes no sense. I don't even know when Cormier is going to be ready." Cormier is coming off a successful title defense against Derek Lewis. Cormier locked in a rear naked choke in the second round to seal the deal. MMA News will keep you posted as more details on Cormier's next fight become available. So, for everyone thinking that Francis Ngannou is going to be Daniel Cormier's next fight, Dana White is hinting that there may be another fight in the works before Francis.
Okay, so I want to say Brock Lesnar, but when did they say the fight he was going to get back in there? When was it, for MSG, or did they make mention?
No, they didn't make mention of when. They just said he's still injured.
All right, so John Jones is fighting March, okay, early March. April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. Okay. I think I figured that one out. I think it's not going to be Brock. Did you see that math, though? Did you see how I figured out the months?
Who do you think it's going to be?
Well, if John Jones is fighting in March, right? He's fighting, right? And I'm doing air quotes for the people that are listening on iTunes and Podbean. He's fighting in March. I mean, I don't know how he's going to get past that one, right? April, May, June, July, August. I just used 5 fingers, right? Then we got September, October, and November, right? That's a lot. That's a lot right there, right? 6, 7, 8. Did you see that? 8 months after. Actually, really, 9 months. You can have a baby in that time, right? So, I mean, you think it's Brock Lesnar? Let's see what the chat says. Who is Daniel Cormier? Who are they eyeing to fight Daniel Cormier in November? Let me know in the chat what you think.
Chat Police says, JBH, would you let Ngannou black you? Noah Velez says Miocic rematch. Tybear3325 says DC and his title fight with Francis and Francis versus Stipe 2 all on the same card. Get Better and says 2 joints to Moss and Mark. JBH shops at Swole City. No, Mystic with the Francis translation, laughing my ass off. Lick These says I'm 75% British and 25% African. I'm African in my crotch area.
Whoa.
Wonderful.
Gilson Telemore. Stipe. 2 joints says Classic Bobby the Brain, Heenan, and Gorilla Monsoon are hilarious. Michael Anzone says Brock Esner. Han Selksy says poop. Robert Wilson says Stone Cold. Greg Arias, DC sucks. Jessica G. Lesnar isn't ever fighting again. MMA Slam Podcast says DC would most likely beat Ngannou, but you can't count out that man's power. Jesus.
I know.
LOL.
That's just the beauty of heavyweights, right? You really don't know.
Astro R says MVP or CM Punk.
All right, so there is a lot of things that happen this weekend. That's why I hope someone extends the show. When we put 5 minutes on that clock, well, it's there. When we start that 5-minute clock, whoever donates, you say save the show, and that amount that you donate will extend the show that amount of time. So we have a lot to talk about. There are 2 Bellator events as well. We have that Matt Mitrione thing where the knee puts the nuts right inside the Russian's body, and he had to go to the hospital and blah, blah, blah. Justin Sumter, friend of the show, big win. I cried on air. I was so happy. Well, not really, but I was very excited. Justin DeFort Sumter got a big win. He's coming on Wednesday night. He's going to be talking about his big Bellator win over there. And MVP versus Daly was meh. But interesting because Paul Daly took him down and took it to the ground. A fight that everyone thought was going to stay on the feet. Paul Daly's like, let's take this down. And honestly, I could have seen how Daly won that fight. It was a shit fight. No one won that fight. And is MVP really that good? And I'm going to go with no. I don't think so. I'm not buying into that shite. Jess, you think after watching that fight, do you think MVP is he the real deal? Chat room, what do you think about Michael Venom Page?
Jay Smooth says Daly fought like John Fitch. How ironic. 2 joints to Steve. I get a skin reaction every time I watch the show. Amber Wisdom says MVP versus Daly was a snooze fest. Astro Art, it was a Pornhub. Stone Cold says when Francis won, Food Fight Live had no enthusiasm. They just sat there like they were watching an infomercial.
Were they even on?
Probably. Joke Savage says Woodley versus Maya looked good compared to MVP versus Daly. MMA connecting.
All right, we're back in business.
Reconnected.
All right.
Tommaso Mark says, yo, JBH, Mike Perry said, hit his DM.
All right, so yeah, if you're just wondering, OBS just shit the bed, but it's back.
Stop the Siberian Express. Choo-choo, motherfuckers.
Vlad.
I say they redo Ngannou versus Black Beast and they actually fight. Or in a fantasy fight. John Jones moves up to fight him and gets overeemed. Daly won that fight. Imagine MVP going up against someone like Yoel. He's overrated.
Yeah, I'm not buying that. But Ngannou versus Black Beast 2. The Stars got to line up for that thing again. And I think Dana White's going to steer clear from that. I really do. There is going to have a lot of moving parts for that to line up. I would like to see them actually throw, but I don't think it's going to happen. I don't know if the Stars will line up for that, but
we'll see.
We shall see. All right, let's move on to the next story. Thank you, Vlad, for the donation.
All right. According to BJPenn.com, Paul Felder has suffered a collapsed lung in the James Vick fight. If you needed any further evidence that UFC lightweight contender Paul Felder is a badass, here it is. In the third round of his fight with the ever-dangerous James Vick, Felder absorbed a body kick that caused his lung to collapse. Despite the serious injury, he continued to fight ferociously until the final bell and ultimately wound up winning a unanimous decision for his efforts. Ariel Helwani posted on Twitter, quote, Paul Felder suffered a collapsed lung in the closing minutes of his fight against James Vick last night. His manager, Brian Butler, told ESPN. Doctors believe the lung was punctured when he took a shot to the ribs at the end of the third round. Felder was scheduled to work as an analyst at the UFC's upcoming card in Prague, but unfortunately, this injury has nixed this plan. Ariel Helwani also tweeted, quote, he is being held an extra day at a local Phoenix hospital for observation, Butler said. As a result of the injury, Felder has been forced to pull out of his color analyst duties for this weekend's UFC Prague telecast, also Butler said. With his victory over James Vick, Paul Felder rebounded from a decision loss to Mike Perry, which occurred in the welterweight division. Prior to this loss to Perry, Felder produced 3 straight wins in the lightweight division, defeating Alessandro Ricci, Stevie Ray, and Charles Oliveira, all by TKO or knockout. Paul Felder is now 16-4 overall. What
a tough ginger right here, right? Paul Felder in a war with Vick. It was a fun fight to watch. And within the closing minutes, his lung collapsed?
Yeah.
How the fuck? If my lung collapsed, and he said something about having 2 lungs, right? He wanted to have a beer after the fight. He said he only has 2 lungs. If my lung collapsed, I would be in the fetal position, sucking my thumb, be like, "Oh, take me out!" I wouldn't be able to keep fighting.
You know what's funny to me is after Vick lost to Gaethje, he blamed it on the weight cut. Mm-hmm. He had every excuse in the book for why he lost to Gaethje. Now he loses to Paul Felder. Paul Felder wins with a collapsed lung. What's Vick's excuse now? Well, I mean, that was a good fight. Vick is really, really tough. You know, if you really think about it, that Gaethje fight, he got caught. I would have liked to seen a little bit more between those two, but Gaethje put the fucking mitts on his face, and Vick dropped like a ton of bricks. I'm not upset about that, but that happened. And in this fight, it was a good back and forth. It was a nice scrap between the two. But the fact that this man won the fight with a collapsed lung at the end, it boggles my mind. Like, if you have a couple of minutes left in a fight and your lung is collapsed, how do you still fight? I wouldn't be able to finish my sandwich if my lung collapsed. Like, if I was eating, right, and all of a sudden my lung collapsed, I wouldn't be able to pick the sandwich up and try to go for it again. I would put it down like, I think my lung is collapsed. And pick up the sandwich and put it near my mouth and try to bite it, like, I can't. The lung is collapsing on me. And this man is fighting in a cage. I don't like talking about collapsed lungs. It makes me feel like I have to breathe more.
I wouldn't be able to do the show with a collapsed lung, right? I'd be like, all right, Jesse, what else is in the news? My lung is collapsed. Like, how do you do it? And he's fighting in a cage. I don't know. He's a miracle worker, this man. He is a miracle worker. But you know what else is a miracle, Jesse?
Yeah, what?
BetDSI. BetDSI is a goddamn miracle. Because all I want to do is find a place to place a bet.
I know a place.
You know a place?
I know a place.
Well, tell me more, Jesse.
BetDSI. Just because you're not in Vegas doesn't mean you can't bet on MMA and UFC. BetDSI offers online wagering and has been paying winners for 20 years. BetDSI is top rated on betting review sites. Use your sports knowledge to make some extra cash. BetDSI has a very user-friendly interface and mobile site, as well as the fastest payouts in the industry. It also offers betting options for everything, including NFL, NCAA Football, NBA, NHL, UFC, and all other major sports, politics, reality TV, esports, virtually everything. Try live betting at BetDSI, where you can bet on games through the entire matchup, every play, and every minute until the end. New members get 100% bonus match using promo code MMAHOLE with the link in the description below. That's more than double your money to start winning today. Once again, go to BetDSI with the link in the description and use promo code MMAHOLE and get this limited time 100% bonus offer to make some extra cash from the sports you know and love. It's only a game until you bet it at BetDSI.
That's right. Wonderful, wonderful.
Wonderful.
For those of you in the chat saying this is sketchy, well, you can
Lick my balls.
20 years in the game, the most reliable betting place to bet. So we've done it. Everyone's done it. Relax. Settle yourself down. Look at this, by the way. Ben Askren is a favorite. Yeah, Jess, you got to slow down those reads. Jess, I swear to God, it's a skill. The way she speaks sometimes and reads, like the sponsor's probably like, what the fuck should you just say?
I know. I get on a roll. So.
Everyone, I want you to repeat what Jesse just said. But anyway,
he said 20 years of non. Oh,
yeah,
Pulse, come
yeah.
on.
That's because he's trying to be funny.
You can't stop this.
It's impossible. Real happy.
Thank you, Francis. I just bought dinner from my brother, Dad, half-sister and his girlfriend from the cash proceeds betting on Mr. Francis. Funny thing is, we ate at a Mexican restaurant. Suck it, Cain fans.
Whoa.
By the way, Cain is a white fake Mexican coon.
Oh my God, it's terrible.
Shots fired.
All right, real happy. Thank you for that wonderful donation over there.
Wonderful.
Yeah, if you want to see what we spoke about, we'll bring it up a little bit more about the whole situation with Cain Velasquez and Ngannou. It can go either way. We have a poll over here. Check it out, 48% to 52%. Why did Cain lose? So you can jump on over there. But getting back to these odds, which is interesting to me, Tyron Woodley, a minus 175, Kamaru Usman, plus 155. Guys and gals, take Kamaru Usman. Stop with this Woodley thing. That's it. It's over.
Yeah.
It's over with. The Nigerian Nightmare. Take the plus 155. This is interesting. Ben Askren, who has not fought in the UFC yet, is the favorite, and Robbie Lawler is a plus 235. Now, I believe Askren's going to win this fight. Right now, as we stand, I believe he's going to win this fight. But what says he will? He hasn't fought in the UFC yet. Robbie Lawler is a former champion. He's been tested. He didn't look great as of late, but he's been fighting top-notch UFC fighters. Is Ben Askren really that good? Is Robbie Lawler the kryptonite to Ben Askren? Well, we're going to find that out, but he's a plus 235. Jesse, what do you think about that bet, Robbie Lawler on Ben?
I'm more of a fan of the Kamaru Usman bet, to be quite honest with you.
So you're with me with Kamaru, huh?
Yeah, because here's the thing. I think Ben Askren can beat Robbie Lawler, and I think that it's set up fairly. As far as Woodley versus Usman, putting Usman as the underdog like that, I mean, I would put money on. Even I would put money on that. And I don't even like sports betting.
Here's the thing. I've done it before. I'm going to do it again. Remember what I said about the Tyron Woodley over, what's it called? The Darren Till fight, right? I looked at that fight. I'm like, Tyron's not losing this fight. Yeah. He is not losing this fight. I can't see it. I don't know how he's going to do it. I see a million ways for Tyron losing this fight against Usman. And I know everyone's going to be picking T-Wood. I know everyone. I mean, Usman's cringy. He's got that LL Cool J lip-licking thing going on there. But you could say, who did Usman fight? Here's the deal. This streak that Usman's been on, and the way he's been looking as he's been progressing as a fighter over here, he is hitting his stride. He is powerful on the feet. He is powerful on the ground. And he may not be fun to watch, but all he does and all he knows is how to win. Woodley has lost. Woodley looks fantastic as of late, and I understand why he's the favorite. But I'm telling you right now, I'm thinking outside of the box, and I'm giving you my word. Kamaru Usman will win this fight, and you will be groveling at my knees once again, the mystical one. When Mystic speaks, when Mystic preaches, he's always right. And I'm giving you a win over here. So pick Marty Usman for this one. But I am interested in the Robbie Lawler thing because it is a bigger swing, right? Plus 235. I mean, maybe drop some bucks on Robbie. I don't know. Let's see what the chat says.
Mike Hunt says, I'm so annoyed that you guys are trashing Cain. D. Brown says, I love Nightmare.
Well, who's trashing Cain?
Well, some people in the chat are trashing Cain. D. Brown says, I love Nightmare, but Marty is going back for the future. Wonderful, wonderful. Absolutely not. Moss says, Vlad Boss Coker says, I can't bet against Tyron until one of these dudes beat him. Wonder Boy got close. Shake my head. Chris LOL says, King Your Mother's Ring. Michael Enslin says, Chris, can you play Jesse intro to the show from last night? I timestamped it. Oh, when I did the intro. When I said from the Queen Studio of New York.
We could.
Said he timestamped it.
Yeah, go. It's the last video. Mikey put a timestamp in the comment section. You could check it out. Jesse did from the Queen Studios of New York. Check it out. In the last, I don't know why we'd play it now, but yeah, check it out in the last video over there. I mean, should we play it now? We could do it Wednesday. We have a little bit more time, so if you want us to play it, we'll play it on Wednesday. Or We'll just have Jesse do the intro on Wednesday. What do you say?
We'll see.
All right. Justin the Fort Sumter is going to be on Wednesday night. Wednesday night, Justin Fort Sumter, he fought at the Bellator card. And just real quick, I just want to touch on this. I want to touch Jesse. This man over here, the Fort, I mean, if you didn't see this fight on the preliminaries, it was the second to last fight on the preliminaries. It was fire. Absolute fire. Justin was done, man. He got fucking smoked. His eyes rolled back, and somehow he found a way to dig deep, weather the storm in the first round. And not only did he weather the storm, he kind of finished the round pretty strong. And then in the second round, gets on the ground and chokes out his opponent. What a comeback. What a fight. We'll have Justin the Fort Sumter on, a friend of the show. I have to say that.
Friend of the show.
I have to say that because I got to tell people I have friends that are black. You know? I got to say that. People don't think I have black friends. I do, Jesse. And I'm part Sicilian, for God's sakes. I mean, it's ridiculous.
I hate that you use that. It sounds so ridiculous.
I shook Jay Smooth's hand. That means I love black people. All right, here we go. What else do we have in the news, Jesse?
According to Bloody Elbow, Daniel Cormier says, quote, "As soon as I'm out of there, Cain Velasquez will be the champ."
Okay. When did he say this? And what picture am I looking for?
A picture of Daniel Cormier and Cain Velasquez.
Oh, there they are. Oh, look at this. Best friends. Wait, is he serious? Is he for real?
Yes.
Okay.
After almost a 3-year absence, former UFC heavyweight champion Cain Velasquez made his return this weekend against Francis Ngannou, and as early as now, close friend and teammate Daniel Cormier is already expecting big things. On Monday's episode of the MMA Hour, Cormier gave a little update on where Cain Velasquez is at in terms of preparation, while at the same time making a fearless forecast. Cormier planned for his retirement to fall on his 40th birthday on March 20th, but he actually might postpone
When was
it.
this article?
What?
Is this article?
This is before the fight.
Oh, it's before the fight.
Before Cain's fight.
Fuck this story.
But
Yeah,
it's
fuck.
still important because,
Why?
Because Daniel Cormier is saying that when he leaves, Cain's going to be champ.
No, he's not. We just
Champ.
Hold on. Let me refresh your memory.
Cain's not leaving. Cain's not leaving though. Wait a minute.
What? Well, let me refresh your memory here.
Cain's not leaving.
Ouch. My knee.
All right. So you're saying Cain is not leaving.
No, just because he lost to Ngannou, he's not leaving. He said he was staying around. And I think it's important to keep that in mind because even though he lost his last fight, doesn't mean he doesn't still have that chance. I mean, Cain.
Do you think Daniel Cormier now is standing by his word? What he said there, he probably saw that fight and he's like, yeah, just erase that article. I don't think we should read that one. It's kind of, I mean,
Well, maybe he is. I mean, Cormier is like his best friend.
Let's see what the chat says.
Cain is out too much. Injury, surgeries, older now, hard sparring. I don't know if he'll ever reach the top.
You can't stop the Siberian Express. Choo-choo, motherfuckers.
Build that wall.
That loser has brown pride tatted on his chest. Pretends to be Mexican, yet his Spanish-speaking skills are sea-level. His family fled third world shithole Mexico for a better life in the USA, yet he still waves the Mexican flag. Assimilate, you loser, Cain.
Okay. Thank you, Build That Wall. That was a fantastic donation. By the way, we were going to put on this thumbnail, and let me run it by the MMA-Holes right now. Okay, since we were such an edgy show tonight. I put, so this thumbnail we put together over here, and for those that are listening on Podbean and iTunes, it says Ngannou smash, right? So I ran it by Jesse, and we always have to run ideas back and forth to each other, right? And what was the idea that I mentioned to you, Jesse?
Instead of Mexican pride, it would be black pride.
So yeah, instead of Ngannou smash, I just wanted to put black pride, or take Cain Velasquez's tattoo and put like an X through it and put black there with Ngannou, like with a big smile next to it. Jesse outvoted that. Now,
I vetoed.
She vetoed that. I thought it was funny, but
it is funny, but
yeah, not too much.
I want to
right?
get paid.
Yeah,
so,
you think BetDSI wouldn't have liked that?
Well, and YouTube.
All right, let me know in the chat what you would have thought of if this said, instead of brown pride, we were just going to put black pride. Because, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see what the chat says.
Colvick says no. That's a no. Pedro says when.
Whoa.
Pedro says when. And Jay Smooth, why would you veto that? What the fuck? Because we can't get paid for certain types of things.
But it's not. Here's the thing. I don't think that was racist, though. I think that was like a play off of Cain Velasquez.
Let me just make
tattoo,
one thing clear to
and
you guys.
making fun of people that were making fun of the tattoo.
I think it's funny. I think if you have a good sense of humor, you get it. It's funny. I would laugh at that. However, YouTube would not, and YouTube is paying more attention to thumbnails, especially for blacklisted channels.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, you just said blacklisted, Jesse. That is incredibly racist. I veto that statement. Retract it.
No, we're a blacklisted channel.
All right. Anyway, let's go back to the news. Let's see what else. Let's see what else we got in the news here. JBH.
All right. According to a Bloody Elbow, Ben Askren rips Dillon, Danis, and Conor McGregor in one tweet.
All right.
There's a link there. If you would like to click that, it'll show you. Nope, not that.
You told me to click the link.
Go back.
You told me to click the link.
Yep.
You told me to click the.
There you go.
All right. Hey, look at this. By the way, look at his picture. Hey!
Now you just lost the tweet.
But by the way, the banner on Ben Askren, he's like, what is that? Oh shit! I just clicked out of the whole fucking thing now.
Yep.
All right, you just start telling the story, and I'm gonna find my way back to the website.
All right. In the lead up to UFC 229, SBG Ireland's Dillon Danis boldly stated that teammate Conor McGregor could beat Khabib Nurmagomedov in a pure grappling match. Just 1 month later, the Eagle submitted the Notorious with a neck crank in the 4th round of UFC 229 main event to retain his lightweight title and cement himself as one of the greatest pound-for-pound fighters in the world. On Tuesday, Danis posted a contemplative tweet regarding expectation and preparation, which elicited a sharp response from Ben Askren. Funky suggested that Danis' inadequate coaching was to blame for McGregor's loss to Khabib at UFC 229. So Dillon Danis' original post was on Twitter, and he posted a picture of himself saying, quote, "We do not rise to the level of our expectations, we fall to the level of our training." Ben Askren then retweeted that, saying, quote, "Are you telling us this is what happened to Conor?"
All right, so now that I picked back up, what did he say? He said, "We do not rise to the level of our expectations, we fall to the level of our training." Okay.
Yes.
It's a nice little quote by the old blonde head. Are you telling us what happened to Conor? Okay. So what else we got here? Anything else?
No, that's it.
Oh. That's how you know it was a slow news day, right?
Yeah, well, it was a very slow news day.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Who put this out? Bloody Elbow?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Dillon Danis is cringy as fuck. So, this is like a 3-way cringe fest over here. Colby Covington should be involved in this too. Do we have a story about Colby? We might as well make it a foursome.
I do have a story about Colby.
Let's make it a complete cringe fest show tonight. I mean, and by the way, I saw the comments in there. I think I'm gonna have to stick to the guns, Jesse. No, with the Black Pride, I should have probably did it. I should have pulled the trigger. I should have did it because honestly, now I'm thinking about it.
Why are you listening to them?
No, but I like to take these votes because I just want to see where should we go with it. It would have been a funny thing, I think.
I agree. It would have been funny, but
yeah. All right, we'll do it. Fuck the cha-ching. All right, we make so much money over here, it's ridiculous. I mean, $2, $5. Sometimes we get $10. Who knows? When they save the show, we might get something over there too. Black Pride. All right, let's go to the next cringiness of the show.
All right, according to MMA Fighting, Anthony Smith says,
"You can't stop the Siberian Express. Choo-choo, motherfuckers."
Racism doesn't exist. It's a made-up word, a new age method of polarizing the population to divide and garner votes. So-called racism and victimhood of subgroups is a currency within the left wing, used to gain power and bully ops. Wake up, people.
All right, I wasn't paying attention to that, but thank you for the donation. All right, Jesse, what am I pointing at?
Colby.
Yes, you have.
What do you want me to do? You're on the right one. I nodded yes.
Okay. Oh, I saw Anthony Smith. I saw Anthony Smith on your computer. I'm like, why do you have that mongoloid? All right, tell me about Colby Covington.
Oh my God.
Thank you for the donation, by the way.
Anthony Smith says Colby Covington is the most skittish person he's ever seen off camera, and he looks like a scared cat. Anthony Smith has heard enough from Colby Covington, the 30-year-old light heavyweight who challenges John Jones for the 205-pound title, or challenged John Jones. Made a point to fire back at Covington earlier this month on Twitter after Covington took a seemingly random jab at Jones. And for Smith, there was more behind the exchange than just defending his next opponent from the MMA's foremost online trolls. Smith went on to elaborate about the Chicago aspect of his tweet. He said he ran into Covington in an unexpected way during UFC 225 Fight Week last June, and the interaction proved to be telling, to say the least. Colby Covington posted on Twitter, quote, "Hey, Johnny Bones, nobody's looking. Go snort a few picograms." Anthony Smith then responded, "It's played out, Colby. It's not funny anymore. Stop throwing shade at my fight. Also, I heard you have an issue with me getting a title fight. Next time I see you, we should talk about that. Or you gonna tuck your tail and hide in the corner of the gym like you did in Chicago."
Yeah, what is it with his back and forth between him and Anthony Smith?
I think Anthony Smith is on the same page as everyone else.
He's like, fuck off.
He's just had enough of Colby.
All right, let me know in the chat. Is Colby's song and dance getting old? Yes or no? I'm interested. Actually, this would be a really good poll. Maybe we'll throw that up there. Colby Covington, it's kind of not his fault. He should be the next in line for the Woodley fight. I'm cool with Usman. I'm cool with him. But it is what it is. He kind of got the shaft in this one, so he's trying to keep himself relevant. So let us know in the chat.
Stop the Siberian Express. Choo-choo, motherfuckers.
All right, Jesse's back. Jesse Lee Peterson.
Racism doesn't exist, but we call Kane's tattoo racist. Beautiful logic we use.
Yeah, right. I mean, I don't get that whole brown pride thing. Like, we love Real. You know, he's a funny fuck. Or whoever else is donating about that or speaking about that. The whole brown pride, I don't care. Like, that doesn't get. If a white guy does white pride, people could be an uproar. I couldn't give a fuck. I honestly, the argument of, and I actually had this conversation with Jesse the other day. The people that said, well, why can't they could do it, but we can't do it. It's not fair. Why can they get away with this, but we can't get away with this? It's the dumbest argument ever. It's a child argument, right? It's and I say this all the time. It's like when you watch two kids playing with a block, and one kid says, why does he get to play with the blue block, but I can't play with the blue block? It's not fair. That's the argument. So who cares? Who the fuck cares? I don't give a fuck if you put I hate gingers that are pale and fucking have beautiful beards. I hate those people. If you had that on your chest, I wouldn't care. Who cares? It's so everyone is so sensitive. No more. It's not why can't this person do it, but I can. That can do it and I can't do it. And but who cares, right? Isn't it annoying, Jesse? It's like enough's enough. Grow up. Everyone just grow up. It's so stupid. It's like in politics. This is why I stay away from politics. Why do the blacks do this, but the whites can't do that? Or why do the white people do this and the blacks can't do that? Who cares? Who the fuck gives a shit? Just live your life. Enjoy your family. Enjoy your friends. This has been an announcement from Redbeard Mystic Moss. Thank you and have a nice day. Jesse, what is the next story?
According to BJPen.com, Joe Rogan says he believes McGregor versus Donald Cerrone is a done deal.
What?
Yes, sir.
A blockbuster fight between Conor McGregor and Donald Cowboy Cerrone may be one step closer to happening. UFC commentator Joe Rogan spoke about the proposed matchup on his Fight Companion podcast last night during UFC on Espn broadcast. He said, quote, Conor Cowboy is a done deal as far as I know. He stated this plainly. Conor McGregor, 21-4, hasn't competed since his submission loss to Khabib Nurmagomedov at UFC 229. Following a post-fight scuffle with Nurmagomedov's team, the 30-year-old was handed a 6-month suspension by the Nevada State Athletic Commission, which will be up in April. The Irish superstar is 2-2 in his last 4 fights, and he has never lost to straight bouts. This news comes after Cerrone revealed earlier in the month that he would be fighting McGregor for the interim lightweight title. When Cowboy Cerrone did post a picture of himself on Instagram with, quote, good news, the Notorious MMA looks like we've got a fight for 155 interim title. UFC President Dana White has also thrown in his support for the potential McGregor versus Cerrone scrap, saying, quote, I'd like to see Conor fight this summer. If those two, McGregor and Cerrone, want to fight each other, they've both earned it.
Yeah, this fight I feel is inevitable now. Mm-hmm. Do you have the story with Poirier where Ali Quinta kind of called out Justin Poirier? Did you see this?
No.
There's a tweet or something. I think Ali Quinta threw out a tweet and was basically calling out Poirier, and Poirier just kind of dismissed it. Seems like that's the only fight right now that for Poirier at 155. It sucks for him. It seems like that's the only fight. I kind of hope I see that. That sounds like a good time. So I hope Dustin Poirier can pull something off and get what he wants. I hope he gets paid, and then we can just see a fun fight. If you want gold, you're going to have to get your ass back to 145. It's the only way you're getting it. Okay. It's unfortunate. You got it?
Yeah.
All right, hold on a second. Jesse's going to put the story. Actually, just
You
throw
want me to
on-
post it?
Yeah, just throw it on the message board. We have 5 minutes on the clock. That's what we're going to put right now. Here we go. 5 minutes on the clock to save the show. Tonight is the night. I hope we get a big save. There is so much shit on my mind. There's Bellator, 2 events. There is the UFC with Cain Velasquez and Francis Ngannou. There is millions of stories on the message board that we need to get to. So hopefully we can get a save the show. This is how you save the show. With your donation, say save the show. And that amount we will add to the clock up there. Wonderful, wonderful.
Wonderful.
All right, Jesse's putting this post on the MMAHoles.com. All right, hopefully someone saves the show. If not, we'll see you Wednesday.
Refresh your page.
All righty. A lot of stories to get to tonight, so hopefully it gets in. All right, Jesse.
All right.
See the DP story.
According to Bloody Elbow, growing increasingly impatient with the UFC, Poirier posted a series of tweets on Sunday evening expressing his urgent desire for a title shot. And if the UFC doesn't comply, the 30-year-old has demanded a fight against another top contender, calling out the likes of Tony Ferguson, Conor McGregor, and Max Holloway. He said, quote, "Put gold on the line or open up the checkbook. Otherwise, don't even call my phone at the UFC. Listen, it's got to be me and Tony Ferguson. If he waits for Khabib, then it has to be me and Conor or Max Holloway if he comes to 155. Poirier then accused raging Al Iaquinta of ducking him and tried to lure the New York-based real estate agent into a fight at UFC 236, saying, quote, "Al Iaquinta has a better chance at selling me a house than fighting me at UFC 236. Al Iaquinta didn't take the bait, instead hilariously offering Poirier a 3-bedroom property, saying, quote, Dustin Poirier, do you need 3 bedrooms or not?
So Dustin called out Al. All right, so I got it flipped. I flipped it up. So Dustin... Oh, okay. No, I'm sorry. I did read it right the first time. So he did, he was making fun of Al Iaquinta and the fight at UFC 236, and then Al fires back. So, I mean, yeah, it's a dangerous fight, right? Dustin fights Al. It could knock him down a peg if he takes an L there. It does nothing for him. He either renegotiates his contract or, he gets the fight that he wants. What is the fight that he wants, Jesse? It's Conor, right? Or
Right.
He said Tony Ferguson as well, right?
Yes. Ferguson, Holloway, Conor, and Iaquinta.
All right, so he's pretty much never getting any of those fights. That's just not happening. It should be Ferguson, realistically. It should be Tony Ferguson, or it should be Khabib. But Tony Ferguson is rumored to fight Max Holloway, so it's not set in stone. Ferguson versus Holloway. What do you think is going to happen with that mix?
I think we're going to see, like what we had mentioned in past shows, Dustin Poirier is going to be left in the dust. He's going to be kind of forgotten about for a little bit. We're going to see Conor fight Cowboy. I don't really know what's going on with Khabib right now because he's not doing that PSA, so it's going to be a while before he comes back. So Conor versus Cowboy, and I think, what was it, Ferguson, Holloway, or
Yeah, Ferguson versus Holloway is the rumor. A
Yeah.
lot of people are saying that's the fight that's going to happen.
And if we see that happen, then like we had mentioned before, I think it's just going to push Poirier out of the picture for a little bit. And
He's been pushed out for a while now, though.
So for a little bit more.
How long does he wait? I mean, you really can't wait much longer. He's ready to fight.
You got to think about what the UFC is looking at. What's going to be the most entertaining to the fans? What's going to put asses in seats? And to be quite honest, as an MMA fan, I'd rather see all the other fighters than Dustin Poirier.
All right, but the question is, what is Poirier's move? By the way, we have 1 minute and 30 seconds left. Hold on. 1 minute and 30 seconds left. Make sure you save the show. If not, we'll see you Wednesday.
He did say that if he didn't get any of those fights, he just wants to renegotiate his contract.
Well, what if the UFC is like, no, fuck you. You're under contract.
I don't know. Maybe he leaves. I don't know.
Well, you can't. You're under contract.
Or he fights out the rest of his contract and just, I don't know.
So it takes a bullshit fight. If I was Dustin Poirier, I would say, fuck it. I'm going to try to find a way to get back to 145.
Yeah.
I know it sucks. I know he's comfy at 155. He looks very good. Go back to 145 and get the belt. Snatch that belt. That's what I say. That's your only option at gold. If not, maybe a Nate Diaz fight, or just fuck it. Fight Al Iaquinta, fight out your contract, and leave. You'll probably get a nice little payday if you go somewhere else. By the way, Bellator and Risen are talking about having a cross-promotion deal, which looks like a fantastic situation over there. Could you imagine that? A little tournament. There's a lot of shit that Bellator is doing. I really like what Bellator is doing.
It would
over
help
there.
keep them in headlines, too.
All right, 30 seconds on the clock. If no donation comes in to save the show, we're out of here. We're off. We're eating. We're going to sleep. We're going to bed.
I can't eat. I have a physical tomorrow.
That's right. Jesse's going to be getting physically checked tomorrow. Nude, right?
Maybe. Get some blood taken, pee in a cup.
Yeah, pee in a cup. How does a woman pee in a cup, though? They have to give you a pretty big cup, no?
No.
It's a little cup?
Why does everyone think it's so hard for a woman to pee in a cup?
Vaginas are tough to aim.
No, they're not.
Mine is really tough to aim. Anyway. All right. There we go. No one saves the show. We'll see you on Wednesday. Justin the Fort Sumter will be live with us Wednesday night. JBH.
Yesy?
Say the magical words.
Don't be an a-hole. Be an MMA-Hole.
Super Chat.